Alright, so I get hurt on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about car crash levels of hurt, or the emotional kind. I'm talking minor injuries. You know, the ones that make you constantly aware that there's pain, but just enough for you to not miss school or work. I'm talking about stuff like burns, scratches, that one pinched nerve you get when you sleep the wrong way. But when I was a kid, I got hurt way more. Often in completely preventable situations. So some context. I was a pretty dumb kid. And I used to do this thing where I butt slid down the stairs because in my 7-year-old brain, this was the most efficient way of going down the stairs. It's faster, it's more fun. You know how rich kids have those slides in their house? Yeah, the butt slide technique made it so I didn't have to be rich to slide in my house. It was perfection. There was no convincing me that walking down the stairs like a normal goddamn person was better. You know, unless I was in public. Butt sliding does not work on concrete stairs. Trust me, I tried. So one time, my family was moving houses, and my sister found a timer and wanted to know if the butt slide technique was any faster than walking down normally. And this was me defending my pride. Like, I don't make bold claims often, but claiming that the butt slide technique was superior was one of them. Next thing I knew, I was butt sliding down the stairs as fast as I ever went. Then out of nowhere, I hear a... I looked down, and I noticed that my right pinky toe got caught on the side of the wall. I remember doing that thing that kids do whenever they hurt themselves. You know, when they pause and realize, oh shit, I'm in pain, and then start bawling their eyes out. My mom hears me screaming, and my sister immediately starts to blame me for what happened. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't my fault, but it was more like 80-20 in terms of whose fault it was. And she just blamed the entire thing on me. I wasn't just gonna let mom yell at me for being a dumbass. Nah, I'm gonna drag her down with me. So after yelling at both of us, she drove us to the hospital, and we waited a few hours to see the doctor. The doctor examines my toe, and I don't know what he said exactly, but it was something along the lines of, yup, that's broken. Next thing I know, he takes out his pen, and he didn't have a notepad or anything, so I asked him, hey, what's that? And he says, nothing, it's just a pen. Motherfucker, next thing I know, he stuck it in between my pinky toe, jumped up, slammed my pinky toe back into place with the weight of a grown-ass man. In hindsight, I had some pretty poor choice of words. Hey, what's that? God damn it, I know what a pen is. I just wanted to know what the fuck he was gonna do with it. Afterwards, the guy just starts nonchalantly wrapping my foot with some bandages, gives me a rolly boot, and told me it would heal in about a month. So yeah, pretty good first and last experience going to the hospital. Looking back, things could have gotten worse, and at times I'm glad I had this experience. You know how in shows they have those characters that mature through traumatic experiences? Yeah, that was me. This was my traumatic experience. Because I'm pretty sure if I didn't break my toe that day, I'd still be butt sliding like a champ. And that's pretty much the extent of how much I matured from that event. I was still a dumbass kid though. I remember one time that same year, I had the bright idea to bungee jump from the top of my bunk bed. I got a long elastic sweater, I got a high place to tie it off. You know, what could go wrong? Well, being the dumb kid that I was, instead of wrapping the sweater around my body like a harness, I decided to wrap it underneath my legs and around my waist like a diaper. You can kinda see where this is going. Without a second thought, I tied the other end to my bed frame and walked off. And as I was falling to my demise, I got that moment of clarity. You know when everything goes into slow motion and you feel inner peace right before you're about to fuck up? Yeah, that lasted a good half a second before feeling intense pain. It was like a wedgie times 100, except it was constant. I was dangling there in pain trying to untie myself. Like, imagine getting kicked in the balls, but also getting rug burn on your ass crack. This traumatic experience didn't make me more mature. It only gave me a rash on my butt for a week. Yeah, but in the long term, most of these antics were pretty harmless. Like, they weren't gonna seriously injure me, you know? But one memory from my youth sticks out in particular because it was pretty dangerous. So my dad owns an auto parts shop, and they have this huge industrial fan because my dad's too cheap for AC. So my first instinct as an 8-year-old is to see what would happen if I stuck a screwdriver into the back of it. As if it wasn't bad enough, I had the intuition to think, I should stay as close to this fan as possible so I can see what's gonna happen. Oh, I saw what happened because it shot back into my eye. Luckily, it wasn't a direct hit. The back of the screwdriver instead hit the bone slightly above my eye, and looking back, it could have gone a lot worse. Nowadays, I end up injuring myself in the most mundane way possible. Like this one time, I was taking a really hot and steamy shower, and I had the urge to scratch my back. Scratching it felt so good. I just kept on scratching and stretching my arm back further and further, and the next thing I know, I hear a... I don't know the specifics of what went wrong or what that sound was. All I know is that my shoulder hurt whenever I moved it. It was like that for 2 whole weeks. Then one morning, I woke up and was all like, oh wow, that pain is mostly gone. And not even an hour through my day, my little sister comes along and says, hey boy, and she gives me a firm punch on the shoulder, and all I hear is, "It took another week to heal." I don't know. Pretty tame in comparison to sticking shit into a large metal fan. But still, all the dumbass stuff I did as a kid really makes for a funny story. For adults, all the ways they get injured is pretty boring. Like, I imagine it's hard to tell a funny story about getting arthritis. But was getting creatively injured really worth my well-being? No, not really. I had to give up my childhood dream of making butt sliding mainstream. Oh hi, welcome to the end card. If you liked the video, please consider liking it or subscribing to my channel. As a small content creator, it validates my existence, or at least in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm. If you didn't like the video, please let me know in the comment section what I can improve on. So yeah, that's about it. See you next time.